Hey guys, so we're back with the highly requested video. I've been getting a lot of requests about this because my last tutorial of typography was a flop because the quality got messed up, but it's okay because we're back. So let's start off with a blank canvas. We're just gonna get straight into the video. So I usually like to make my backgrounds a very dark color, and I've like matching it with whatever kind of color I'm doing for the typo. So honestly, in reality, the background really doesn't matter, but you know. Okay, so you're gonna press the T and you're gonna go ahead and put down a font. You're gonna press Control T and you're basically just gonna size this font up. Very cutesy. So we're gonna do a salon typo. I don't exactly have a name, so let me go look up a salon really quick.
But we ain't stressing anything, it's the purple everything, it's the purple everything.
Okay, so I'm gonna do Haru because Haru is what is this? Oh, it's spring in Japanese. So we're gonna do Haru salon. So we're just gonna have our text right here, very cutesy. I'm gonna copy and paste it and size down this one and just put it under. And we're gonna name this salon. Now I'm gonna change the salon text at the bottom, and I think I'm gonna use this font name Mango Nega. I don't think I like this one because it could be a little bit more chunkier, but let's see. Okay, it's actually not that bad. Okay, so I'm really liking the layout so far, and I'm thinking about making this font right here like very white, tan, white. Yes, white. Okay, so I found this palette right here. It's pretty cute. It's not vibrant enough. The colors look a little washed out, so I'm just gonna kind of use this but improvise. I'm gonna make it, should I make it green? No, I think pink is really tea. We're doing pink. Ooh, or I could do purple. See, this is why I always have a hard time coming up with typos, because like all the colors just look so freaking good, guys. Okay, we're gonna do pink. We're gonna make it this shade of pink, and since I kind of like improvised a little bit, I'm just gonna go ahead and add this color. I have my fonts laid out the way I want it to. Just go to text and go ahead and press this hill looking button up here and press none and go to arch, and you can basically change the arch of it. I don't know if you guys have ever seen when people have like curved text where they're like going downwards. This is how they do it. So I'm gonna have it like this with a little bit of arch, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on salon. Actually, I'm kind of like doubting the salon text down here. I think I'm gonna make it something that's like curly, but not like that. After that, I'm gonna go ahead and press this button right here. Next we're gonna change it to an orange color. The color doesn't really matter because it's gonna be changed. And then you're just gonna make a box, and then press these little circles on the outer edge, and then just go ahead and size it down. It's gonna be like rectangular shaped, and then I'm gonna make this a little bit longer. Okay, there we go. Maybe a little bit bigger. Okay, and then next up you're gonna move the salon text above it, and the salon text is actually going to go right here inside of this box. There we go. And then go ahead and center this, and so now it's centered. and we're gonna drag the Haru text up here, and let's see, should we add it on top or on the bottom? I'm not sure, to be honest. Wait, let's click these. And then, I don't know. I feel like on the side looks cute, but then it also looks weird. Okay, I'm gonna say that this is fine for now. Okay, so I've arranged the text how I want it. And next up, we're gonna go get a translator, and then we're gonna name it Salon. Paste your Japanese text in here. And I already found one called Nagonoshi. And we're gonna go ahead and just save that. And then open it up. Okay, now I think it's downloaded, so we're going to go ahead and copy and paste the Salon text. We're going to paste in our Japanese characters. Okay, paste that in, and it's this one right here. I think it's, oh, where'd it go? Okay, I'm using this one, and I'm just gonna go ahead and size this down, and then put this right here. And then I'm gonna make this right here green. So the Salon part will be green. Wait, it's not changing. Okay, there we go. There we go. This is what it's looking like. And then we're just gonna select these and then just kind of like rotate it however you want it to be. Now, it may look a little bit off-centered, but there's gonna be like some bushes in the way and everything will just come along. Okay, now just gonna go ahead and make sure everything is still centered. So that Japanese text right here. There we go. So now we have everything ready to go. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and copy and paste all of this and then add it into a folder and then just name it copies, and then we're gonna hide that. Now for the Salon, I'm gonna go ahead and do that little arch trick again. So let's make this 0 and then just gonna make this go in, and then I'm gonna do the same thing for the Japanese text. And I'm actually gonna move it a little bit closer. Alrighty, now I'm actually gonna copy this one instead and delete the last copy I made, and then group it and then copy, hide it and then move it down, and now I'm ready to start. So for the Haru text, I will go ahead and adjust this again just in case, and I think I'm gonna have it going out just like that. I'm gonna copy it again and just move it to copies. So anytime you make an edit to the original text, just go ahead and make a copy, and I usually like making copies just in case I mess up. So now you're gonna go to 3D, and 3D feature only works if you have Photoshop 2023 and under. For some reason, Photoshop removed it from the newer versions like 2024 and 2025. So you're gonna need to have 2023. Yeah, so once you're in 3D mode, you should see this. You're just gonna go to properties, turn off cast shadows because it's that nasty shadow that's right there. We don't want that. And before I continue, I'm actually gonna change the color of my background. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. And now we're gonna go ahead and go to shape preset, and you can pick literally any of these. I usually only use the first 6 because these are the only functional working ones. The rest of them are just like really weird. Yeah, so we're gonna go here. Yeah, we're gonna use this one. And then after that, you can go to the move tool and you can like rotate it. You can tilt it up or you can tilt it down. In this case, we're gonna go ahead and tilt it up, just like that. And then we're gonna take these and we're actually gonna move it. Like the salon, the Japanese, and the board, we're actually just gonna go ahead and move it above the Haru text. And I almost forgot to like change the name. Okay, there we go. So I adjusted the tilt and we have a shape preset on. Now we're gonna go ahead and get out of 3D mode, and you're just gonna click this little arrow and click Essentials. This thing should be on the right top corner right here. Now you're just gonna double click your text. Add gradient overlay, and if you're feeling lazy, you can go to this little arrow right here, and then you can go to pinks, and then you can literally choose any pink that you want if you're feeling lazy. If not, you can go ahead and make your own combination. You can just click this one and you can make it the original color. Oh shoot, wait, give me a second. The original color, and then if you want like the top part to be light, you can just go ahead and make it a lighter color, just like that. Now you have this gradient where it's like white and then it turns like a darker shade of pink. Now I'm not really fond of the pink, even though I chose it. It just doesn't look right. I actually think that I might like the reddish pink a little bit better. I'm not sure. Maybe like in between. I think that this will just work for now. Okay, I'm done messing with the gradient. Now I'm just gonna zoom in really quick and then go back here. Now we're gonna use inner glow. Just go ahead and copy my settings for this one. Also, it's very important, make sure you have your overlay to center. I'll show you the difference right now. So this is center. As you can see, it's bringing highlight to the center of the text versus edge. Edge basically adds it to the outside, and edge is really only good for like if you want the outside to be darker. So like this is a good example of edge. The outsides are darker, clearly, and then if you go to center, all the focus goes to the center of the text. I usually keep it white, and I turn up choke pretty high, and then actually choke should be low for center. And as you can see, like it's bringing all the focus into the center of the text. It looks really good. So yeah, this is my settings for this. And then inner glow, it really just depends. Like, it really depends. Give me a second. We're gonna have distance 0. We're gonna have size no more than like 30. And then you can add distance if you want, it doesn't really matter. And then choke up, and then you can just go ahead and copy these settings right here. And then you can change the color to, it's supposed to be like a darker shade. I mean, you can do a lighter shade for like a highlight around the edges, which I might actually do. It looks pretty nice. Yeah, I think I might do that. Yeah, we're gonna stick with that. Alright, so now I have the highlight. And then we're gonna go into color overlay, and I'm gonna change it to another shade of pink because my color is looking a little bit too washed out. And then just change the opacity down just a little bit. Just gonna change it to like red. There we go. And then next you're gonna go to bevel and emboss. This is literally like the best thing you will need for your typo. Like, it adds like the perfect amount of glossiness and highlight. As you can see, there's like a bunch of highlights right here that are being adjusted around. Just go ahead and copy my settings for this one, I guess. You can just really adjust it. Also, if yours doesn't look like mine and you're not doing a pink typo, that could be the reason why, because everything varies depending on what color. So this is my bevel and emboss settings, and then you can go ahead and copy my satin settings. These are what it is. Alrighty, now you can go ahead and add pattern overlay. It's really good for adding those little details that you might want. I usually only use the grass one in the water because these ones are the best. Now you're gonna press OK, and now you're just gonna go ahead and zoom out. This is what I have for the base of the text. Looking pretty good, pretty simple, you know, just nothing too major. So next up, we're gonna start with the wooden sign now. Again, we're just gonna make a copy again just in case, and just name it board, and then we're gonna hide it, and then we're gonna drag it down. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just go ahead and make the board a 3D layer. So if you go to 3D, new 3D extrusion layer, it's now 3D. So we're gonna go to properties, turn off cast shadows. Shape preset is gonna be the same as our text here. And then if you go ahead, I forgot to mention something, but you can also do this to your text as well. Extrusion depth is important because if you really want to go ahead and add that length to the back, you can. I forgot to mention that completely. That like slipped my mind. I don't know how. But yeah, that's also really important. Yeah, so you can go ahead and change the background. I'm just gonna undo that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make the background pretty short. About this short. And then we're going to tilt it upwards. And then we're going to go ahead and convert to Smart Object, copy it, and then undo, and then paste. Now we have our 3D wooden board, and we're going to size the salon text down. Why is it up here? Okay, now we're going to size this down. And then we're going to move this Japanese text up. Now we're going to zoom out, and we have our wooden board. Now I'm just going to go ahead and import a wooden texture in here. Okay, so I'm going to use this wooden texture. I'm going to change it to 90, and gonna size it up. Now I'm going to hide it. Click on the wooden board. I'm going to use this wand tool and I'm gonna unhide the wooden board and then hold it down and then press create clipping mask. Now I should have something that looks like this. Now we're gonna press the wand tool and press on the wooden board. Now we're gonna click this under part right here, the gray part. And then we're gonna switch, wait, make sure you select all of them. Now you're gonna switch over to this wood vector and you're gonna press Ctrl U, up the saturation and turn down the lightness. Now you're gonna press OK. And here you have the wooden board. And to add more detail to it, I'm just gonna import another wooden board. Now I'm gonna add this one for detail, so I'm just gonna do the same exact thing to this one. And I'm gonna change it to overlay. Let's see. I'll change it to soft light and turn down the opacity. And then change the saturation, so Ctrl U. Oh, this doesn't really change much, so we're just gonna leave it like this. Now we have this part, and let's see, we're just gonna double click on the wooden board. We're gonna go to inner glow and we're gonna go ahead and change it to edge. Now you're gonna make the edge a darker brown wooden color. There we go. So now it should look a little something like this. And you're gonna go to color overlay. And now you're just gonna change it to something light if you want it to be lighter. Now we're gonna go to inner glow. No, not inner glow, inner shadow. And we're just gonna change it to something that's dark. And we're gonna lower the opacity on this and go to bevel and emboss and add highlights. This one doesn't really show that much, so I'm most likely gonna have to hand draw these. I'm not sure. But yeah, so this is basically how I do my wooden signs. They're pretty easy. You can use these with regular typos and not just like a board that's just like this. So yeah, I'm pretty much done with this. I do have a little mistake right here in the corner, so I'm just gonna erase that. And actually, before I go ahead and finish this off, I'm gonna double click on wooden board and add that pattern overlay to it and change it to 5. Now I'm pretty much done with this whole part right here. Next up to do, we're gonna zoom out and let's see. We're gonna go ahead and add grass now. So we're going to go behind the main text right here. Now we're going to go ahead and just pick out some colors for the grass. So we're gonna use this for the highlight, this for like shadows, and maybe this one for the main grass. And then we're gonna create a layer, and we're gonna name these grass colors. And then just go ahead and move it to the top with this color palette. And now we're gonna go to a new layer, and then this plugin will, not plugin, but it's a preset pack, I guess you could say, and it's linked down below. So you want to use one of these. Let's see, give me a second. This could be used, but we're gonna use this hazy windswept grass. We're gonna size it up. Now we're just gonna go ahead and add grass. This is the base of the grass, so yes, it's pretty basic. Now we're just gonna go ahead and switch the color to something that's a little darker and create a new layer. Now I'm gonna move it up, and let's see. Actually, I'm gonna move it back down. I'm gonna leave it like this, just do that. And then I'm gonna create a new layer, and then this one is gonna be actual, like, these grass angles right here. I don't know which one I'm gonna use though. Okay, I've decided I'm gonna use this one, so I'm just gonna make it a darker color, and then I'm gonna move it above the text, so that way it's like this, and then size it down. And then make it darker, and then create a new layer. And honestly, the only thing that's hard about this step is finding the right kind of grass to use, because sometimes if you use the wrong, like, grass, it just ends up looking a little bit weird. And then you can go ahead and just do like markings that look just like this, and then you can change it to like a brighter green color and lower the opacity on that. And then you can even add these like long plant things. I guess you could use these for vines as well. Do something like this, and then just go ahead and erase these. But yeah. And then we're gonna add some more grass. And we're actually gonna go to the back of the text, and we're gonna go ahead and add some more grass.